so we're going to go ahead and go over the chapter 2 test. So let's go ahead and bring up the chapter 2 test, everybody, and let's see if we can go ahead and go through this, right? So number one, we have find a polynomial with a degree of 3 with real coefficients that satisfies the given condition. So we have the zeros here, right? The zeros are 3 plus or minus I. And I'm also given that f of 2 is equal to 15. Okay? So I have the 3 roots. The 3 roots are going to be x minus 3, x plus I, x minus I, right? Okay. And then we're actually going to have a leading coefficient of what it is, I do not know, but it does satisfy this condition. Okay. So this is our equation. I do this, but I know that f of 2 when x is equal to 2, the function value is 15. Okay, so let's go ahead and combine these two together. If I combine these two together, I'm going to get a x minus 3. This is basically going to be x squared plus 1, right? From x squared plus 1, do I get the plus or minus I, right? Because if I get x squared plus 1 is equal to 0, x squared is equal to minus 1, x is equal to the square root of -1, which is basically plus or minus I, okay? So I know if I combine these two, I'm going to get this, okay? So now, let's go ahead and see, we need to solve for A. So if I put 2 in, I'm supposed to get 15. So I'm going to get A 2 minus 3, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is equal to 15. I get -1 here. I get 5 here. So I'm going to get A times -1 times 5 is equal to 15. Therefore, -5A is equal to 15. A is going to be equal to -3. So A is going to be equal to -3. So your final answer is going to be -3x minus 3 x squared plus 1. So let's go ahead and do this part out now. I get -3. If I do this part, I get x cubed. If I do here, I get -3x squared plus x minus 3. So I just do the -3 out, I get -3x cubed plus 9x squared minus 3x plus 9. So this here would have been your answer. This would have been the full credit answer. Okay? All right. That's that. So a lot of you missed the A part here. Most of you just kind of gave me this answer, which was incorrect, right? Some of you tried to put the A in there and then solve for A. Some of you got the wrong number for A, right? That's number 1. Number 2. Write a polynomial function of minimum degree with real coefficients whose zeros include the listed. Write the polynomial in standard form. Okay, so now this one, they say I want in standard form, right? So 2, I'm given that 5i and root 2 are, these are your roots. They're given these solutions. So since this is a root, that means that the minus, which is the conjugate, has to be a root also. And the same thing here, I get root 2. So I'm basically going to have So this, I have to write this out in standard form, right? I have to write this out in standard form. Okay, and so if I do this out, what do I get? I get x squared plus 5ix minus 5ix. So those will cancel out. 5i, so I get minus 25i squared, where I squared is -1. So this becomes plus 25. And over here, I get what? X squared plus root 2x minus root 2x. Those two cancel out. I get minus 2. So and they want it in standard form. So I have to do this out. So I get x to the 4th. 25x squared minus 2x squared. 25 minus 2 is times 25 times minus 2 is minus 50. So that's your answer right there. Okay. Where are we at? We're good there. So let's go to number 3. Okay, I don't think there was anybody who got number 3 right. I think all of you missed number 3. So let's take a look at number 3. F of x is equal to 3x minus 4 over x plus 4. Okay, so this is the same as 3 plus x plus 4. Over here, what's my leftover? Basically, I am doing the long division here, right? X plus 4, so I'm going to get 3x plus 12, because this 4 times 3 is 12 right here. I subtract, I get negative 16. So 3 is my quotient. This is my remainder. So this is what I get. Okay. So if I put this into y, so I'm getting the y, and I can move the 3 over, y minus 3 minus 16x plus 4, okay? So a lot of you got the 3 and the 4 part correct, right? So your 3 is going to be 3 up, right? 4 is going to be 4 to the left. You got that right. Some of you even got the 16 part right. 16 is a vertical stretch, right? It's a vertical stretch of 16. Most of you, if not all of you, got this part wrong. Okay, there's no such thing as a vertical stretch of negative 16, right? This negative is a reflection. And you're reflecting, so where x is, you're putting negative x, really. Or so basically, what you're doing here is, so where y, actually, I'm sorry, this is gonna, so if you move the y, the negative over here, right? Move the negative over here. Okay, you're basically taking where y is, you're putting negative y. Okay. So if you put y where negative y is, you're basically reflecting it across the x-axis, right? You're reflecting across the x-axis. So you got a shift to the left of 4, vertical stretch of 16, up 3, reflection across the x-axis. Okay. All right, that's that. Number 4. Number 4 is use the limits to describe the behavior of the rational function given an asymptote. So we have f of x is equal to 4x squared minus 3, x squared plus 1. So, and write it, what does it say? Describe the behavior of the function and the end behavior. Okay. So what do I have here? I'm trying to find the limit as x approaches infinity. 4x squared minus 3x squared plus 1. If you remember correctly, when we talked about end behavior, when you have the same degree of polynomial, right, the end behavior was nothing more than a divided by b, the leading coefficient of here divided by the leading coefficient of here. And the reasoning behind that is if I went ahead and divided the top and bottom by x squared, I'm going to get this. Divide everything by x squared, right? This goes to 0, this goes to 0, 4. And it really doesn't matter if I go to negative. If I go to negative infinity, right, it's still the same thing, right? Because these are going to go to 0 anyway, and I'm still going to go to 4. And the way to verify it is really just go ahead and plot this on your calculator, and you can find that whether you go this way or that way, the horizontal asymptote is going to be 4. Okay, so you would calculate the 4, and then I would just kind of verify it with my calculator to make sure it is indeed 4. Okay. That was number 4. So let's do number 5. An open top rectangular box has a square base and it will hold 105 cubic centimeters. Each side has a length of x and a height of y. So I have so let's go ahead and draw this first. Let's draw this. So I have x by x on the bottom because it's a square, and a height of y, okay? So I need to find what they want, the surface area. It's an open top, it's an open top. So I'm gonna have one square on the bottom, and that area is gonna be x squared. Then I'm gonna have 4 sides, or each side being xy. So I'm gonna have 4 of those, okay? And so this is fine, except for I need to go ahead and find getting rid of y, right? Because it's, what does it say? Yeah, express the surface area of the length by x. I'm trying to find, so this is the surface area, but I need to get rid of the y because it says uses only x's only, right? So what ties the x and the y together is that the fact that the volume was 105. So what's the volume of this? The volume is equal to the base area, x squared, times the height, which is y, and this was 105. So y is going to be equal to 105 over x squared. So if I go here, x squared plus 4x times y is this, 105 divided by x squared. So if I go further, I get x squared plus one of these x's cancel out. 4 times 105 is 420 divided by x. So that right there is the proper answer. X squared plus 420 divided by x. Okay? All right, number 6. We're going to have 4 over x plus 4 minus 8 over x minus 4 is equal to x squared minus 16 over 12. Okay, as you can see that x time plus 4 times x minus 4 is equal to x squared minus 16, I'm sorry. So we can go ahead and combine the denominators here. So like if I combine the denominators, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get 4x minus 4 minus 8x plus 4. Okay. So what do I have? Let's work on the left side here alone. Okay, so on the bottom, I'm going to get x squared minus 16. I'm going to get 4x minus 16 minus 8x minus 32. So if I combine this, I get negative 4x. Negative 16 minus that is minus 48 over x squared minus 16. And that's going to be equal to this, right? So it's going to be equal to 12 over x squared minus 16. So if I look at the tops here, I'm going to get negative 4x minus 48 is equal to 12. Move the 48 over, I get negative 4x is equal to 60. X is equal to negative 15. And you have to verify that that does not make any of these 0, the denominators. So as a matter of fact, minus 15 does not make any one of these denominators 0. So that's your answer. X is equal to negative 15. Okay. All right, number 7. Number 7, we have x squared minus 81 over x squared plus 81 greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so on this one, there's an interesting thing going on here. Normally it would be you are comparing, you combine these two together and you would go like this. This is the same as when this is greater than 0. Okay. However, over here, if you look at this guy, what do we know? Is this guy ever going to be 0? X squared plus 81, is that ever going to be 0? It can't be 0, right? Not only that, this guy here is guaranteed to be positive, right? This is never going to be negative because x squared has to be a positive number. And this is plus 81. So this guy here is always going to be greater than 0. So what's going to determine whether it's greater or equal to 0 or not is going to be just the top portion. So you can actually say this is the same as that, which is the same as that, which means that x is greater than or equal to 9, or x is less than or equal to negative 9. That's your answer right there. Okay. All right. Let's do 8. Solve the inequality 2x cubed plus 9x squared minus 38x minus 21 is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so the way to approach this question is to, well, solve this guy first, right? Solve this guy first and put this into a polynomial function. If I mean an x minus or whatever, that kind of stuff first. So let's go ahead and solve this guy first. Okay, so the possible, so I'm going to do some synthetic division here, right? So my possibilities are plus or minus 1, 3, 7, 21, and the division of these by 2, right? One, 2, 3, 4, 8, 16 different ones, right? So what did I tell you to do if I have 16 different chances here?
Graph it.
Just go ahead and graph it and find out where it is, right? And then you can just show it by the synthetic division, right? So if you graph this, it looks like there's going to be one at 3. So let's use 3. 2, 9, negative 38, negative 21. 2 comes down, 2 times 3 is 6. That's going to be 15. 15 times 3 is 45. Add together, we get 7. 7 times 3 is 21. And indeed, yes, it is an answer. Right? So I have x minus 3 here. And the leftover is 2x squared plus 15x plus 7. Okay? So actually, I have 2x squared plus 15x plus 7. And over here from the 3, I had x minus 3. Now this actually is going to be factorable. So if I get 2, 7, 1, 1, 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. So this is the same as x minus 3, 2x plus 1, x plus 7 is equal to 0. Again, so my roots are x is equal to negative 1/2, negative 7, and 3. Okay? So if I graph this, on my calculator, I'm going to have 3. And why do I know it starts from here? Because it's a positive number here, right? This is positive, so I know it's going to start from here. 3, negative 1/2, negative 7, right? And the original question was solve the inequality that. Okay, so 1 is greater than 0, so it's greater than 0 between here and here and here and here. So your answer is going to be negative 7, negative 1/2, greater than 3. Okay, so that would have been the answer. Okay? Or if you wanted to put it in the other notation, it would have been like that. Okay. Okay, that was that. And last but not least, let's do number 9. Number 9, I get x cubed plus 5x squared minus 4x minus 20 greater than or equal to 0. Okay. All right. So again, I'm going to get what? The possibilities are plus or minus 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 6, 12 different ones. So again, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the calculator. Put it in the calculator. It looks like 2 is one of the answers. So let's go ahead and do 2, 1, 5, negative 4, negative 20. 1 comes down times 2 plus 7, 14, add that together, I get 10. 20 is equal to 0. So this is going to be x minus 2, and I have left over x squared plus 7x plus 10. And this is going to be equal, so this is going to be also be good. This is going to be 5 and 2. So I'm going to get x minus 2, x plus 2, x plus 5. This has to be greater than or equal to 0. So my roots are 2, -2, and -5. Again, the leading coefficient is positive. I'm going to start from here and go like that. I get 2, -2, -5. So it's going to look like that. I want to be greater than or equal to 0, greater than or equal to 0. So it's going to be like that. -5, -2, this right here. And then x is greater than or equal to 2. Okay, so that's your answer. Okay, so there are a lot of things here that are happening. It seems, let's see, where did you guys struggle? You guys struggled on number 1, and number 2 was kind of a struggle. Number 3 was definitely a struggle. Number 4 was not too bad. 5 was okay. Most of you did get 6. 7, 8, and 9 were kind of okay. A lot of you mixed and matched the, so in instance for here, the proper answer for the other way to make this, write this down would have been -5, -2, and 2 infinity, okay? A lot of you, instead of using the big brackets, went like this, even though the question clearly had an equal sign there. Okay, so you kind of left out the endpoints. Those kind of, you guys did everything that you should did, I mean, everything you needed to do, and in the end, just kind of forgot. And it was like, you know, instead of the big brackets, you use the small brackets. And on the other one, on the, let's see, on the one like number 8, you went the other way. Number 8, you should have used the small brackets, but then you were using the bigger brackets also. Okay. So again, doing all the work and kind of missing the small things, all right? All right, so go ahead and look at, after we went through that, is there anybody who has any questions on how their tests were graded? If so, please let me know. We'll go ahead and discuss it.